Talking about erectile dysfunction is not easy, and most of us brush it off or blame ourselves, saying things like, I lost my mojo. Sorry, honey. I had a long day at work. I'm just not feeling it. Guys, with Roman, it's easy to talk about with a real healthcare professional who can prescribe real medication. It's simple, safe, and totally discreet. With Roman, you can get a free online evaluation and ongoing care for ED, all from the comfort and privacy of your home. A healthcare professional will work with you to find the best treatment plan. If medication is appropriate, Roman will ship it to you with free 2-day shipping. The whole process is straightforward, simple, and discreet. Getting started, just as easy. Go to GetRoman.com/Chael. Complete an online visit. Go to GetRoman.com/Chael today. If approved, you will get $15 off your first order of ED treatment. My official prediction, KelvIn Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier. Of course I'm going KelvIn Gastelum, but I will admit there's a caveat. There's a caveat of KelvIn mixing things up. If I was to go back 2 fights, right? KelvIn had a real dust-up. He fought the gentleman from Rikers Island who's tougher than hell. But KelvIn mixed it up so well. He threw his strikes right into his doubles. He came off his doubles going into strikes. When KelvIn mixes things up, and he's a mixed martial artist, he is so damn good. He really is, but KelvIn's one of those guys who's got massive power in his hands, and yes, he falls for the oohs and ahs. We all do. Any coach or observer or analyst can sit back and go, don't do the oohs and ahs, follow your basics, but every fighter, including the guy who's making the statement, knows what he's talking about because he did it himself. And KelvIn loves to hear that roar of the crowd, and he fell in love with his left hand, and it's damn good. He's just a lot safer when he's mixing it up. And again, if you were to go back 2 fights ago to Rikers Island, that's what he did so well. He surprised everybody. And that fight was a major turning moment in KelvIn's career. He's had a few of them, but that was the one to get him back into Main Street. Had he lost that fight, who knows where he would be? Possibly not even with the company. He's now done a main event since, and he's getting ready to do another main event against a top guy. It's very relevant. Very relevant. KelvIn's good. He's scary. He's dangerous everywhere. He's great. He's not just scary. He's not just good. KelvIn is great when he's mixing it up. And he doesn't have to get those takedowns. He has to threaten the takedowns. He's very good at coming off them with strikes. They start to respond. He's coming right in. Takes that head to the outside. Sometimes he doesn't even hit a knee. Just drops elevation, gets underneath, grabs a hold of those hips. Cannonier. I only got one experience with him. In person, personally, I met him one time, did an interview with ESPN. But I said hello, you know, and I did the buddy hug, shaking hands with one, throw my arm around the other. This guy was like touching a wall. I remember this. This guy was rock solid, and he wasn't very big. And the Cannonier story is pretty interesting because he started at heavyweight. He was in like Alaska, and he was driving all sorts of stuff, makes his way down to 185 pounds, and is next to unblemished. Right? I mean, he went like 3 years there, unblemished, about to be the guy. I realize he stubbed his toe a couple of fights ago, but that was a main event. That was a big fight. Cannonier is going to be hungry. Cannonier is going to be coming back, and his stature is relevant. A guy's stature is always relevant. It's the reason the tail of the tape only tells you a few things. What he weighs, how tall he is, and what his reach are on that list. They're even before you get down to the guy's record because it matters. It's one of KelvIn's great assets. The way that KelvIn Gastelum's body is built, he's not extremely tall for the weight class. He's not a short guy, but he would have a lower center of gravity compared to some others. And when KelvIn puts his hands up, naturally his shoulder hides his face. Most of us have to really bury the chin, raise the shoulder. KelvIn can just put his hands up. It hides most of his face. All you've got is a forehead to throw punches at. I saw KelvIn in a fight. I believe it was with Chris Weidman. And KelvIn came up, right? All he has to do, just natural DNA, the way his body build is put his hands up. It hides his face. He came out looking like Tommy Hearns. He had one hand down here doing this. I was screaming at my television set. And I only bring that to you because KelvIn's still a young guy. He is. He's having fun. You guys forget how young KelvIn is. KelvIn was the youngest contestant ever on The Ultimate Fighter. That was 2012. So it's been 10, 11 years. Okay, he's just north of 30, but I'm just sharing with you. He was the youngest ever. You guys forget. You think this is an old veteran. This was a young boy that came into the sport and just happened to take over and become champion of the toughest season ever. Still goes down as the toughest season ever of The Ultimate Fighter. Still fighting in main events, still fighting for his career, but there's things that he needs to do. There's things that he needs to do to make sure he's mixing it up, which is what he does so well. And KelvIn's not going to put the pace on you. He's going to wait for you. It's one of the few traps that he does. It's a trap. And I'm not positive it's on purpose. But KelvIn will not put the pace on you, but he's got plenty left. So as soon as you start bringing it, thinking you're going to open him up, that's when you find out he's been sandbagging. And I bring that because championship rounds just aren't an issue for KelvIn. No matter how tired he gets, I'm sure he gets tired. He doesn't show it. It doesn't change. He's going to fight you every single step of the way. And I do think if we were to go back and look, be real critical of KelvIn, and what was probably KelVin's worst performance was against Robert Whittaker, but there was a reason why. You guys will remember Robert Whittaker, who's never taken anybody down in his life, started going to that double leg. There was nobody more surprised that double leg was working than KelvIn. He just wasn't ready for that. I mean, in all fairness, am I making an excuse for him? Sure I am. But I'm also telling you what happened. Like, if you think you're going to go out there and ground and pound KelvIn Gastelum, nobody's ever done it except for the best kickboxer he ever fought, right? Element of surprise. And I do not overlook Cannonier. He's a rough and tumble customer. Is he made for championship rounds? That's going to be a question. Can he take a punch? It's going to be a question. Because he could end up deep, and he's going to fight a guy that's got a hell of a chin. I'm taking Gastelum.